So, you're a dog owner in Fremont. You already know that life with a dog here is this fantastic mix of incredible open spaces and, well, some pretty busy city life. This explainer is all about helping you find a local trainer who really gets that and who can help your dog confidently handle everything our community has to offer.
I mean, think about it. Your dog has to be ready for just about anything, from a crowded farmer's market to a jogger suddenly appearing on the Alameda Creek Trail. The right kind of training makes all these situations feel calm and totally manageable.
All right, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at what makes training here in Fremont so unique. Then we'll get into the different training methods, compare some local options, give you the right questions to ask, and finally, go over some key local rules and resources.
Okay, so why is it such a big deal to find a trainer who really understands the Fremont environment? Let's take a closer look.
Just picture your average week. You might be navigating the crowds at Fremont Street Eats, walking past the Tesla campus during the lunch rush, or enjoying the trails over at Lake Elizabeth. A good trainer is going to prepare your dog for these specific, real-world situations.
So now that we know why that local knowledge is so important, let's talk about what's probably the biggest factor in your decision, the trainer's philosophy. You see, how they teach is just as important as what they teach.
The method that's recommended by pretty much all veterinarian and behavior experts is positive reinforcement. And it's actually really simple. You reward the behavior you want to see more of. This approach doesn't just work, it builds a really strong, trusting bond between you and your dog.
And you know, the difference in the outcome is just huge. Reward-based methods create a dog who is actually excited and willing to work with you. On the other hand, methods that use fear or pain, well, they can seriously backfire and create brand new problems, like anxiety or even aggression. That's why it's so important to always ask a potential trainer how they plan to teach your dog.
With that foundation set, let's get into the practical side of things. How do you actually evaluate and compare the different trainers and programs available right here in Fremont? Okay, so you've probably seen this alphabet soup of certifications, but what do they actually mean for you and your dog? Well, they're a quick way to gauge a trainer's commitment and their expertise. You want to look for credentials like CPDTK for general obedience. But if you're dealing with more complex issues like reactivity, a certification like IABC-CDBC shows a much deeper level of specialization. Next, you'll need to choose a format. Group classes, they're fantastic for practicing skills around other dogs and people, but in a controlled way. Private training, on the other hand, is tailored specifically to you, so it can address issues like barking at the window or jumping on guests right where they happen in your own home.
And of course, budget is always a factor. Here in our area, you can expect a 6-week group class to run you somewhere between, say, $175 and $325. For a package of private in-home lessons, the investment is typically going to range from about $475 up to $1,000.
So you found a few potential trainers. Now what? Well, it's time for a consultation. Let's get you armed with the right questions so you can make a really confident choice.
You should treat this like an interview because, really, it is. Start by confirming they use positive, reward-based methods. Then ask how they'll tailor the plan specifically to your dog and your goals, how you'll both track progress, and what you need to be doing between your sessions to make sure you succeed.
Training isn't just about what happens in a 1-hour session. It's about how you and your dog live together in your community. So let's cover some important local rules and some great spots to go practice.
First up, this is a simple but really critical rule. Unless you are in a designated off-leash park, your dog must be on a leash that's no longer than 6 feet. This isn't just a friendly suggestion, it's a city rule that's designed to keep everyone, both dogs and people, safe and comfortable on our shared trails and sidewalks.
And don't forget, all dogs in Alameda County over 4 months old need to be licensed and have a current rabies vaccine. It's a key public health requirement, and honestly, keeping up with it is a fundamental part of being a responsible dog owner here in our community.
For anyone who lives in close quarters with neighbors, this is something to be mindful of. Under Fremont's municipal code, excessive barking can actually become a formal nuisance complaint. This is exactly where a good trainer can help you get to the root cause, whether it's separation anxiety or alert barking, and make life more peaceful for you and your neighbors.
So, once you've got some skills down, where can you go to practice? Fremont has some fantastic spots. The dog parks at Central Park and Tanner are great for off-leash recall practice in a fenced area. And for practicing polite leash walking around distractions like cyclists and other hikers, the Alameda Creek Trail and Mission Peak are just perfect.
Good luck with your search for the right trainer. Remember, investing in training pays off every single day.
A well-behaved dog just makes every walk through our beautiful parks, every visit with friends, and every quiet evening at home so much more relaxed and enjoyable for both of you.